evening, everyone. We will try to speak our best English. Thank you for the lovely introduction. So we are Atelier Brenda, and we decided to approach this as an interview. So,
who is Brenda?
Brenda is actually a made-up character, so as said before, it was kind of a joke. But we decided to do that because it was an alter ego for both of us. The name comes from Brenda Walsh, which was a character in Beverly Hills 90210. Whoops. Okay, so she lost her voice. But who are the members? That's Sophie and I. We collaborate together, but we also collaborate with other people and designers. And one designer that we often collaborate with is Amelie Bakker, because she needs to be mentioned here. She and us work together for the Beurschouwburg, which is our main client for the moment.
Do you believe in chance?
Thanks. Yes, we do. Keep on experimenting, and then you will find interesting things.
How did you start? Was it influenced by anything?
Yes.
How did you start? Was it influenced by anything?
So yes, we started out as 3 friends when we were still studying at school, and it was kind of a way of expressing our dream world and the things that were going on. As you can see here is a random collage. The first thing we did was an underwater scene party kind of thing, and people liked it, so they continued asking us for different projects. One of those was a curated event where you can see an installation. We made different installations based on archival stuff from our childhood. Is there a dish you could link with graphic design? Yes, we like mussels and sausages.
Typefaces you enjoyed working with recently?
Typefaces you enjoyed working with recently?
Yes, the FX Matrix designed by Robin Eckert. We used this for the Beurschouwburg, the cultural house in Brussels. They asked this assignment because they wanted to announce to go paperless, so we wanted to exaggerate and made a very long faxed letter. This is a detail of the faxed letter. So it's very long because they also have to communicate in 3 languages. We started implementing this type in other things as well from the Beurschouwburg. This is for the café, and the logo, which resembles like the open signs of night shops, posters in the café. Then we have the digestive typeface that was designed by Studio Triple. This is also for the Beurschouwburg's identity.
Yeah.
It's a display font that resembles, that's a mixture between Art Nouveau, Gothic architecture, and seaweeds. These are some details of printed matter of that season. Also mini focuses, so we started using the letters as shapes and building blocks, as poetic shapes, and also as images by transforming them to symbols. Then another typeface is Self-Modern, designed by Lucas Le Bihan. We used it for an exhibition design for Hugo Claus, which is a very famous Belgian writer that died 10 years ago. We chose this typeface because it suggests handwriting, and for us it was kind of a poetic view. We combine this with the sharp grotesque. We will say something about that later. This is another view of the exhibition. And then another typeface is Clifton, designed by Johan Minet. I don't know if I pronounced it right. This was for a live recording of Laraji in London, and he's a new age musician from the 70s. We use the Self-Modern here again, but it's more like a secondary typeface. But the Clifton we chose because it has like this brilliant and exotic aura. And the Self-Modern again for its poetic appearance. And then the last type example will be for the football festival that's happening now at the Beurschouwburg. We used here again the sharp grotesque, designed by Lucas Sharp from Sharp Type, together with 3 other designers, and the Clifton again for a secondary font. The first step of the design process was making scarves. And so we made a set of 6 different scarves with 7 colors to keep it as broad as possible. Then we designed the frontier of the building with some symbols and icons that are linked to football, using the colors and introducing the 2 typefaces. This is a detail of downstairs and upstairs bar. And then this is printed matter. So you have a folded flyer with one side, the poster side, and the other side is the calendar. Voila.
Can you discuss a project in detail?
Yes. To continue with the Beurschouwburg, this is the facade. So it's very important because it's in the middle of the center in Brussels. Everybody's passing by, so it's very important that we use this. And we will, as many people might have noticed last year, there was a lot of conversation about diversity and feminism. In January, there was a huge women's march that took place in Brussels, but all over in the world. And the Beurschouwburg explored this subject for 6 months under the title of the Futurist Feminist. First, we start designing posters with quotes. The idea was to create different layers of diversity. This is a sketch, we didn't use this. But because our client also thought it was too retro-feminist, which it was. We didn't want to use images first to avoid stereotypes. The only thing that we wanted was to use handwriting, which refers to individuality and protest. These are the first sketches that we made. The idea was that we had like a logo that changed constantly. But then we delivered it to the client, and they used one logo and they put it on a hat, and then suddenly it was everywhere. This was not our intention, because we wanted like lots of logos. The Beurschouwburg, they wrote a manifest, which you can see here, to make clear what the program was about. It was not only about feminism, but like a lot of minorities, which you can see. We decided to use the sporting grotesque, which is also a type by Lucas Le Bihan. We used it because we think it's playful and young, and it's feminine, and they have like lots of glyphs. Like you can see it in the, here you can see it in the S. We started spraying the focus title on the manifestos. And then here's an example of it. And they wanted it to be on the facade in the summer when the Beurschouwburg was closed. And people thought it was real, so they thought it was really trashed, but it was us. And afterwards, we had to make a digital version of it for a folder that was also a poster on one side, and on the other side a calendar. So we made a spray in Photoshop. Some details. Here's another example of some printed matter. This is a flyer for the big conversation. And here you can see the calendars outside. We also put the words from the manifest on the windows in vinyl, and we put some purple spray behind it. As the season progressed, there was a need for images suddenly. As we mentioned, we wanted to avoid that, but they really wanted it, so we started to mesh up images from the program with our own images and drawings, and this is the result. We put a frame around it so it became posters. And we also glued those posters on separate walls during the events. We also made flags. And we used those images together with type for advertisement, as you can see here.
To end with what you say to young aspiring designers, we thought it would be funny to wait a year, take a sabbatical, so you can rest before you start.
To end, what would you say to young?
Bye.
Thank you.